Hi, it's Danielle. So today's session we're going to be exploring wintry objects with a little maths focus. So number focus, counting some shapes, exploring. But first of all, we're going to say hello. Are you ready? You've got your drums and your bells ready and your voices to sing. Hello, hello. Can you clap your hands? Hello, hello. Can you clap your hands? Can you stretch up high, stretch up? Can you stretch down low? Can you wave your hands to say hello? Hello, hello, hello. Can you bang your drum? Hello, hello. Can you bang your drum? Can you bang it fast? Can you bang it slow? Can you bang it loud to say hello? Hello, hello, hello. Can you shake your bell? Hello, hello. Can you shake your bells? Can you shake them fast? Can you shake them slow? Can you shake them loud to say hello? Hello, hello, hello to everyone. Hello, hello. Let's have some fun. Right, so first, like always, we're going to warm our bodies up. So we're going to be doing Santa Claus bones, okay? So we're going to be wiggling and shaking all our bodies, a little bit of dancing. And then you're going to be exploring your bodies from your feet all the way up to your head, okay? So you can find those body parts and give them a little wiggle and a stretch. So we're going to get ready to work. Let's go.
And we'll sing a song about our bones. Let's point at our bones as we name them.
Point and wiggle if we can.
Them bones, them Santa bones, them bones, them bones.
So you need to wiggle it and moving that body as much as you can. Warming everything up, dancing.
Santa
We're gonna
Claus
shake.
bones. The toe bones
Toes
connected to
first.
that.
And
The
the
foot
feet.
bones
Wiggle,
connected to
wiggle,
the
wiggle.
ankle. The ankle bones connected to the leg. Now shake them Santa Claus bones. The leg bones connected to the
Knees.
The knee bones connected to the thigh bones. The thigh bones connected to the hip bones. Now shake them
Hips.
Santa Claus
Wiggle them hips.
bones. The hip bones connected to the back bones.
Back.
The back
the
bones
back.
connected to the neck bones. The neck bones connected to the head bones. Now shake them Santa Claus bones.
Shake.
Them bones gonna them bones gonna
Shake it all. Warm it all up.
now shake them Santa Claus
All
bones.
shake.
Them bones, them Santa bones, them bones, them bones,
Down.
Santa bones, them bones, them bones,
Shoulders.
Santa bones. Now shake them Santa Claus bones.
Well done. So we should have just a little warm up, ready to start our session. So, like I said before, this session has got a maths focus. So we're just going to be exploring a few different things and how we can use them to explore them in a mathematical way. Okay, so it just involves you going for a walk prior to the session, or maybe just having a look around your garden, or just along your street. You know, you might not even have to go very far, and you can just find some stones on the floor or pinch a few branches off some of the trees, or trees in your own garden. Okay, so I've got lots of things from outside here, and already my room smells amazing. So I think it's mainly from this nice piece of tree, which we're going to look at after. But it smells, so it's a really nice sensory experience, okay? So you don't always have to buy all these nice sensory smells to make something sensory and smelling nice. Okay, it can be gathered from things outside, things all around us. You know, you don't have to go very far to find something that smells nice, or that doesn't smell nice, because we need to realise and we need to learn things that we like and things that we don't like. So it doesn't always have to be something that smells nice, because I might like one smell, but somebody else might not like that smell. Okay, we don't all like the same smells. So it's always nice to explore as much of the world around us as we can to find out what we like and what we don't like. So in a minute I'm going to show you all the things that are on my table at the back, because I realise sometimes you can't always see it. So you'll see what we've got for this session and then we'll get going. So like I said a minute ago, as you can see, I've got my tough tray full of the different resources that we're going to be using. You can see your stones, your rocks, your snowballs, leaves, acorns, hats, bits of tree, twigs. I've got red pom-poms because I couldn't find any red berries, gloves, a bag full of jumpers, and as you can see in the left hand corner I've just got some either talcum powder or some shaving foam, because we're going to find out what we're going to be doing with this after. So what we're going to do next is we're going to show you little pictures on your screen of things that you're going to need, and then we're going to have a sensory exploration, finding them, exploring them, feeling them, moving them, holding them, counting how many there are, and then you'll get some little other challenges linked to them with the kind of maths focus that I said. So it's a little bit, you can make it really sensory, or you can make it, you can add that little bit of challenge and add the maths aspect to it as well. Okay, so your first picture's coming up. Find one tree or one piece of a tree. Right, so our number one thing to find would be a tree. Okay, so here we've got a nice sensory piece of tree. Okay, not only does it smell nice, it feels nice and prickly because of the tree that I've got. Okay, if you wanted, you could gather different pieces of trees, different branches, because some of yours might have some leaves on still, maybe, that might be nice and smooth, or they might be nice and prickly like this, but they'll all have a different sensory feel. Okay, so you can just explore your tree, explore how long it is. Okay, you could pull off little pieces and you could explore a long piece and a short piece. Okay, so if you wanted, if you were really clever, you could do some size ordering of your branches. You could pull them all off and you could do some size ordering. So you'd start with a small one and have the big one at the end. So if I pulled another one off, I would need to see if it was bigger or small. I think it's ever so slightly bigger than my small one. And then if I was to pull another one off, I need to decide if it is bigger or smaller. I think it would be a little bit bigger. Okay, or you could do some counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you pull them all off, you'd have to see how many branches you could get off one branch. Okay, so you could go out now and you could have an explore and see what trees you could see and do some maths counting and sensory exploration with your tree. Find 2 pine cones. So next will be 2 pine cones. Okay, so you could hold them in your hands, see if you could feel around them. You could roll them and move them around, stretching your arms up to the top of your tray and back down again. If you wanted, you could do some painting with them. You could do some smearing in the mud if you were outside, or in the snow if we get any snow. Okay, you might find one big acorn and one small one. So you could explore different sizes while you were out, as well as numbers. You might find more than 2. You might find 2 different kinds and you could make some patterns. We've got small, big, small. What would come next? You could take them home and you could paint them, or you could decorate them like little Christmas trees. This one has come all the way from Tenerife. You can get some really nice big ones that look like little Christmas trees. So you could paint them green if you want, or sprinkle on some snow. You could do the same with these. If you look at Christmas craft ideas with acorns, you might find some nice ideas that you could do with your acorns as well. So not only could you do some maths activities while you were out and about or at home, you could then use them for craft as well afterwards. Find 2 pairs of gloves. How many gloves are there? So when you go on your wintry walk, sometimes you see them dropped on the floor, or you might need to get them ready before you go. 2 pairs of gloves. So in 2 pairs of gloves, do we have 2 gloves or do we have more than 2 gloves? Shall we see? Do we find out? So this is 1 pair which has 2 gloves in it. And then we've got the next pair which also has 2 gloves. So if we look at them all together, can you tell me how many gloves we have? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 gloves all together. So you could mix them up and make a pattern. White, purple, white, purple. You could pair them up. You could mix them all together and you could find the same to get them to match. We could put our gloves on to get our hands nice and warm. So to put a glove on, we need to make sure we get each individual finger, unless you've got mittens, into each individual finger of the glove. So you've got to find the hole for your thumb. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. The hole for each of the other 4 fingers. And then you have your gloves on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 fingers wiggling inside my glove. 10 fingers. So, see if you can find your gloves in your cupboard. See if you can get your hands inside your gloves. See if you can match them together or make a pattern. Have a go and see what you can do. If you want to be really different, you could just wear 2 odd gloves all the time. Have a go. Find 3 hats. So, the next one is exploring 3 hats. So you're going to have a rummage round your cupboards upstairs and you could find one of your hats, one of your mum's hats, one of your dad's hats, sisters, brothers, cousins, anything. Okay, so I've got 3 of my hats. So as you can clearly see, they're all different colours. So you could be exploring colours when you're looking at your hats. Okay, I know you can't feel them at home, but this one is quite a thin hat, okay? So it's just woolly all the way through, whereas this one has got a little bit of a furry, sheepy lining inside, as is that one, okay? So they've all got bubbles on the top, so you could explore and count the bubbles. Pom-poms, bubbles. Some hats that you might have at home might have none, or they might have 2, or they might have more, they might have ears, they might have everything and anything. Okay, so you can explore putting them on your head, seeing if we can find our head and putting your hat on it and keeping it nice and warm. You can listen to how things sound a little bit different sometimes when you've got your hat on, because it covers your ears. Okay, so you can put your different hats on your head and find your head. Give your head a wobble, 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 and you can feel your pom-pom moving around on your head. So you can explore all those different hats that are going on your head. See if you can find 3 hats and explore them. Give it a go. Find 4 rocks. So as you can see, I found my 4 rocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Some are big and some are small. Some are more round and some look a little bit like a diamond. Okay, if you want, you could use 2 of your rocks to bang together. So we could do some counting. 1, 2, 3. You could use your rocks to make patterns of music with them. So you could copy me. And then you could copy. Should we do another one? So we could do some quiet sounds. And we could try and do some loud ones. If you want, you can take your rocks home and you could do some rock paintings. So I'll show you a video after this little clip, a little picture, sorry, of my rock paintings that I did at home. And we made them into some bumblebees and some ladybirds for in my garden. So we used the shape of the rock and we painted them yellow or red or whatever they needed to be. And then we could hide them and move them around the garden and find their different hiding places each day. And depending on whether you did 4 or you did more or you did 5 or you did 10, then you could find and search these in the garden in the sunshine. You can even go out in the rain if you like. And you can find all the different rocks. So see if you can find 4 rocks outside and then have a play as to what you want to do with them, whether it's music or art or just some counting. Make 5 snowballs. So our next one is 5 snowballs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are just made from a little bit of old bedding, or you could, remember, use your shaving foam in the freezer and do some little snowballs that way. You could follow one of the older videos where we made our own snow that works amazing with the bicarbonate of soda and conditioner, white conditioner. They work really well. I think that's still one of my favourites, okay? So if you're lucky enough and it's snowed when you're out on a walk, you could make different amounts of snowballs. So here we have 5. Okay, and you could count them as you throw them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could explore them under your hands and try and move and roll them all around. You could try and make one of your own in your hands, which is really hard. Something else you could do, you could line them up and you could make a picture out of lots of different snowballs. If you took some paint outside, you could paint the snow and you could make them all different colours and then make a picture that way. Okay. You could make really big snowballs. So imagine these were all squashed together And then you'd have a small snowball. Or you could make hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of snowballs and have a snowball fight. See which one you fancy doing. Find 6 woolly jumpers. So it's winter, it's cold. What do we use to warm ourselves up when we're in the house or you might be outside? We'd have our nice, cosy, woolly jumpers. Okay? So, if you wanted, you could put on your woolly jumpers. We could practice that. So how would we do it? You might do your head first. And then you might practice on stretching these arms up tall. So that's one arm. And then we'd practice stretching the other arm. And then you've got your jumper on. Pull it down and get it all snuggly. And it'll warm you up. Okay, so I've got one jumper and look at all the different colours. I've got a jumper with lots and lots of different colours on it. So here's another one. That's a different colour again. That's a mustard yellow colour. Are you ready for another one? This is Danielle's climbing jumper. That's a different colour. It's a nice blue colour. Next is a woolly red one. Ooh, and we've got a big, cosy, knitted, chunky one. And a green one. So if I hold them all up now, you can see all the different colours. Where's the green one? Lots and lots of different colours, and sometimes they're made out of different materials, okay? So this one, my climbing one, isn't really a woolly one, but then I've got lots of nice warm woolly ones as well, so you can feel the difference in your hands, and you could make a choice as to which one you want to wear from feeling the different materials, or you could choose over the colour or the style. I've got my nice multicoloured one on here, so I'm going to keep this on now and stay nice and cosy warm while we finish our activities. Okay, let's have a look to see if you could find. So we explored 6 jumpers then. You might have more jumpers in your cupboard or you might have less. See how many jumpers you can find in your wardrobe. Find 7 brown leaves. So next we've got our 7 brown leaves. Shall we count them together? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well done. So when you're out and about, at the minute you might find lots of leaves on the floor. Some trees might still have them on, but you'll find a lot of them scrunched up, either dry or crispy, or wet and soggy on the floor. So you could have a really nice explore with the different leaves. Mine are really, really crispy because I gathered them a long time ago to make some Christmas cards with them at home. So they're really, really crispy. And I've got to try and stretch that one out a little bit. Okay, but if I put them in a big dish of water, I'm sure they'd soon go nice and soggy again. So with these, you can explore them. You could paint them. You could paint over the top and do a stencil, or you could paint the actual leaves if you wanted. Or what you might find if they're as crispy as mine, okay, you might want to do a nice leaf painting picture. So there we go. Or do it the wrong way around. Let me put the mouth at that side and then you'll get the picture. So he's got 2 eyes, a nose and a mouth. What can you see? It's a smiley happy face made out of leaves. Okay, so you could count them, you could do pictures, you can get a nice sensory crunch and scrunch and then what you could do once they're all crunched together, you can move them all around. Make some leaf blowings. You could try blowing them. What happens to them? Where do they go when you blow them? Do they move all around? So not only can you move them with your fingers, you can try moving them with different body parts. See if you can find 7 leaves and see what fun activities you could do with them. Find 8 twigs. So here we've got our 8 twigs. If we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, what shall we do with these twigs? You could do some tapping and make some music. Again, you could copy patterns. You could just count all of your twigs. You could try and put them into size order. So you could start off with the little ones, then you get a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. I think that definitely needs to come to that side. And then they're in size order. If you turned it the other way now, it would make a lovely Christmas tree if you could stick them together somehow with string. And you could dangle things off it. But if we're thinking about our mass, you could just have a nice feel of them. We could make some shapes with them. So we're going to move on to our shapes in a minute. Have a go at exploring your twigs, putting them in size order, feeling the difference between the really, really smooth ones and the really, really knobbly bobbly ones. And we'll move on to making some shapes. Make a rectangle out of twigs. So, we're going to make a rectangle, so you need to choose 4 sticks that are going to be able to make a rectangle. So I'm going to choose the 2 longest ones and then 2 that are a similar length. Okay, so then you can move the others to the side and we're going to make a rectangle. So a rectangle has 2 long sides and 2 shorter sides. So that is Danielle's rectangle. Can you see if you can make a rectangle with your twigs? Make a square out of twigs. So now we're going to make a square. So bring all your other twigs back and you need 4 sticks of a similar length. Ooh, so we need 4 that are the similar length. So I think we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we're going to get rid of those. And then we're going to make our square. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I've managed a square there. It's got 4 sides the same length. Have a go at making your own square. Make a triangle out of twigs. So you need to bring your twigs back and now we're going to make a triangle. So you need, how many sticks will we need for a triangle? That's right, we need 3. So we need 3, but they don't have to be the same length. It depends what triangle you want. So you just need to choose 3 twigs. I'm going to go for these 3. And then you can move your others out of the way and you can make a triangle. So these are very similar in length. But if I was to change one of them, oh, it doesn't fit. So I might need to change 2. Okay, and then that's made a different triangle. Looks a little bit bigger, doesn't it, that triangle? Or I could make a smaller triangle. So have a go and see if you can make a triangle using your twigs. Find 9 edible berries. So now it was exploring 9 berries. So I couldn't find berries. And I want to reinforce 9 edible berries. So if you were to go for a walk, please don't just start eating berries. So you can find them and play with them, but please, please, please be extra careful not to put them in your mouth. And they're just for exploration, unless you definitely know that they're edible. So I'm using red pom-poms. Okay, so I've got my 9 red pom-poms. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 red pom-poms. So you can have an explore and you can move them around. You can try and hold them and see how many you can get in your hands. Some of them are big and some of them are small. You could make shapes with them. In a circle. You could make patterns with them. Big, small, big, small, big, small, big. What will come next? Small. Well done. If you wanted now, if they were really berries, or if you wanted to still use your pom-poms, you could put a little bit of red paint on them and you could squeeze them, and then you could do some berry painting, squeezing them and moving them around. So lots and lots of different mathematical creative activities that you could do using different berries. Why don't you have a go? Find 10 stones. So as you can see here, I've got my 10 stones. Shall we check? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we can do lots and lots of number activities with our stones. If you wanted, you could do 2, add 3. And how many would you have altogether? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. You could do 4, and then you'd have a takeaway if you wanted. Take away 1. And you'd be left with 3. Okay. You could paint them lots of different colours and sort them all through. You could just explore some of them being smooth and some of them being a little rougher. Okay. And another thing you could do with them is you could make shapes, a bit like you did with the twigs. So in a minute we're going to make some different shapes using our stones. If anything else, you could have a nice sensory exploration, just moving them all around, holding the different ones in your hand, seeing if you could do a nice stretch for your fingers. You could put the different stones in between your fingers and give your fingers a nice stretch out and a wiggle. And if you're really clever, you could try and squeeze and pick them up. I dropped one. Okay? So now we're going to try and make some shapes. Make a circle out of stones. So first of all, we're going to make a circle. So you need to move your stones round to make a nice big circle. Going round and round and round. See if you can make a circle using your stones. Make a triangle out of stones. So now we're going to make a triangle. We'll start again, we'll move them all out of the way. And you're going to use your stones to see if you can make your very own triangle. Ta-da! Have a go at making your own triangle. So, once you've completed all the different activities with the 1 to 10 different items that we've explored from the outside, just to make it even more winterified and just to make it a little bit more messy really, because it weren't quite messy enough for my liking. You can make it so it looks more like a snowy scene. So I'm just going to move the iPad down until you get to the tray there, and then you'll see I've just got a little bit of everything on here now. Okay, I've got some of the berries, I've got some of the trees, some of the twigs, some of the stones, and what I'm going to get, I'm going to use, so you can use flour, you can use talc, you can use shaving foam, and I want you to cover everything that you've got as if it snowed in the night and you can't see anything anymore. And then you can get messy. Okay, so this is the bit where you're going to search and you can find, you can get your hands in, you can move it all around, you can see what you can feel under your fingers. So at the minute I could definitely feel some of the tree. I think I found tree in both hands actually. Okay, so you can search and find. I can feel some of the pebbles, the stones. See what you can find. The smell of the tree is really coming out now. Okay, so if you did have those berries in there and you were squeezing them, I think they'd slowly start to turn your shaving foam red. You could do this if you wanted to with your ready-made snow as well. Okay, so feel, I think I found an acorn. So if you wanted to make this into a family game and do it bigger, you could give one person 5 acorns, one person 5 pieces of tree, one person 5 pebbles, one person 5 sticks, and then you could all have a 10-second explore to see if you could find your object. And then the first one to find all 5 of theirs would win. And I know in my house, if you win something, it's generally chocolate. Or you could just win for the sake of winning. But the idea is that you just have a nice sensory explore of those wintry objects after you've had your maths-themed challenge session. So, have a go at the messy bit and see what you think. You can make your snowballs out of your shaving foam as well. Right, have a go at that and see how you get on. So, I hope you enjoyed that session. Now that you've done it, exploring it in your house, it might be a really nice option as well to get your coats on, get your hats on and go out to find these objects. Okay, so whereas for this session, mums and dads or parents and carers might have brought the objects inside. Okay, it's really nice to get wrapped up warm and get some fresh air and some exercise, and you can go out and you can try and do this on a walk. Okay, so you could go for a walk and you need to find your one tree. So you might find your one tree. You could keep walking and you might find a little stash of twigs. Okay, so you can make some nice pictures or some patterns on the floor with your twigs. You might find some nice pebbles or some stones that you can make some shapes with, or some numbers and some smiley faces. You might keep walking and there might be a really nice flower or a bunch of flowers, and you can count your flowers. There might be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 or even more. Okay, so there's lots and lots of aspects of this that you could do, and you could go out of the house to do it. get a little bit of fresh air and exercise, like I said, and try and make up your own maths challenge, your own maths trail along a little walk that you do. Okay, you might see 6 ducks. And go quack, 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 quack. Okay, so have a go. Hope you enjoyed it. All that's left for me to do now is to say bye. And we'll see you again soon. Bye.
Together each day, walking in our classrooms and then going out to play. We used to meet to sing and to pray, and gather for assembly to kick off the day. But now the new rule means school's change. We don't know when we'll meet again, but even though we're in lockdown, we won't be locked down, 'cause we're still a family, and we're looking to the rainbow, because we all know there is hope for you and me. A new day will come, 'cause we're still a family. A new day will come, there's hope for you and me. We're getting used to learning online and talking to our friends on WhatsApp and on FaceTime. And even though we are missing PE, there are lots of coaches training us on TV. But now the new rule means school's changed. We don't know